what chimpanzees do when they have surplus. And so they took a dump truck and dumped just like half a ton of fruit into their enclosure. And what they did with it was they ate what they wanted and then they let the rest of it rot. They were just like, they had no problem with it. I get neurotic just thinking about that. I'm like, what about all the wasted fruit, right? But the chimpanzees were like, here's a banana, and I'll eat half of it, I'm done. And they, it didn't cause them any alarm whatsoever. And they have the closest brains to ours, so it's interesting. But then they introduced currency to them. And they gave them these wooden, and there was no scarcity. They could still have as much food as they wanted, but they had to buy it with these wooden chips. And they all went insane. That level of, is this thing real or is it not real? I mean, that's the question that we all struggle with. It's like, money's the biggest illusion we all agree on, but if you walk around pretending that it's not real, you also are in big trouble. Like, so what the fuck is it? Like, it makes you crazy. It's so strange. It's both things. It's crazy making. And they saw behaviors happening that they'd never seen. Hoarding, like chimpanzees are just digging holes and pouring little wooden chips into it. It's like, how many of these do I need? They've never had that sense of scarcity before. It creates a sense of scarcity, right? So first of all, I think the most important thing I have to remember when I feel insane and confused around money is that that's what it does to a primate brain, right? So it's okay that you feel like you don't understand it. Like, it's really okay, and that it makes you scared. It's a scary, weird thing. It's this one step removed from the items that it's so just mercy for the fact that like nobody really knows how to be okay with this thing, and so that helps me calm down. And the second thing I'll share is that when I came into recovery about a year and a half in, my sponsor sat me down and said, "I'm not going to be able to continue working with you if you do not get financially sober." Now, sober is a word I love. Because what sober means to me is, I love the definition of God in 12-step, which is good, orderly direction, right? Like the steadfast, reasonable sobriety is away from swings. If I want to stay sober, emotionally and physically sober, I can't do swings. I can't do binges, I can't do purges, I can't do wild excitement, I can't do huge flights of passion, because there's a come down, and the come down is where I get in trouble, and that's what I need. I want to live a sober life. But I didn't understand what she was seeing, and I didn't understand what she meant, and I didn't understand how to get financially sober. And what she was seeing was that I give all my money away. The way I grew up with a father who was a hoarder and pathologically frugal, and my answer to that is, I'm just going to give it to you. Because I can't handle how it makes me feel to have any of it. I don't think I deserve it. I don't want to be a person who keeps it. So I also, my codependency shows up and I bail everybody out. And I'm, paying all my friends' credit card bills because they can't. And that never has been a good idea for either of us. And it's like, and then I'm acting out my emotional drama with money. That's what financial non-sobriety means. I'm acting out my internal emotional damage with money. I happen to do it by overgiving because that's how I am. Other people do it by hoarding. Other people do it by debting. Other people, we act out, we project our drama into this mysterious thing. So I ended up finding this most brilliant idea, a woman who is both a financial counselor and a psychologist. And she works, how is that not a brilliant stroke of genius? She does financial and emotional counseling. I think all financial counseling should be emotional counseling. Because all of us have our emotions tied up in our finances. Whether you have it or don't have it, or have it and think you're going to lose it, or, I remember seeing Oprah Winfrey and J.K. Rowling in a conversation where they both confessed to each other that they are afraid they are going to end up homeless. And I understand that because I know very few women who aren't afraid of that. No matter how much you have or think you have, right? There's this real terror. So I started working with this woman, and she and I created a sobriety plan, like you would if you had an eating disorder. I don't spend freely anymore because I can't be trusted to. And part of the reason I can't be trusted to is when somebody comes to me and shares their pain about what they're going through, I can't handle the feeling of distress that it gives me, so I write them a fucking check. To make myself not have to feel the pain that they're in, rather than sitting with them in their pain or believing that they have a higher power of their own whose name isn't Liz. Right? Like, so I lost a ton of friends by writing them checks. When I got rich with Eat, Pray, Love, I gave so much money away, I lost half my friends. Those people cross the street when they see me coming. We got into such dysfunctional chaos around money, right? So I needed sobriety. And what financial sobriety looks like for me is probably different for other people, but I meet with this woman once a quarter. I show her my numbers. She said to me, she had me give her all of my bank statements and credit card statements for 3 years, so she could get a picture of what I was up to. And she kept calling me during that time and saying, like, who's this person? Who's Brendan, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, why did you write them a check for $8,000? I was like, I have no idea. It was a blackout. I have no idea who that is. Probably someone's friend who needed it. I don't know. And she said, sobriety is also about taking everything you're doing behind your own back and putting it on the table and seeing what you're doing, right? Insanity and intoxication is I'm hiding this so far behind me, I can't even see what I'm doing, right? So there's this clarity, this restoration of sanity. So part of my restoration of sanity was this woman saying to me, do you want to tell me what you think the percentage of your income is that you have given away in the last 3 years? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not looking. And I said, 25, 30%? She said, that would be 79%. I'm bleeding and I don't even know it. Now she said, if you want to give away 79% of your money, that's great, but I would like you to know that you're doing that. Do you know that you're doing that? I did not know that I was doing that, right? That's insanity, is acting without consciousness. I believe that consciousness can be brought into every single realm of our lives. You can take even the ugliest, weirdest, most mundane. I mean, I love that you got up and you're like, I know you're spiritual, let's talk about money. Money is spiritual.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I did not have a spiritual relationship with money. I had a drunken relationship with money. I had a guilt-ridden relationship with money. I had a fear-based relationship with money. I was not sane and sober. And it's a way I told myself that I was a good person, but I was actually a crazy person. So now what I do is we set ahead of time what percentage of your money are you going to give away. You get to decide now. Every quarter, she tells me how much I have to give away. That's my favorite part of the conversation.